This week on Premier Preps, we might be on spring break, but we bring you a special Best of the Winter Season episode featuring the top bucket getters on the hardwood, an exclusive interview with SAC-B Player of the Year Nina Cain of McClatchy High School, as well as the top 40 plays of the winter season. You are watching Premier Preps. Welcome to a special edition of Premier Preps. I'm your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you, as always, for tuning in every Sunday here on YouTube. We've got a special episode this week that brings you our Best of the Winter Season. We've got an exclusive one-on-one interview with the Sacramento Bee Girls Basketball Player of the Year, Nina Cain. And we've also got the top 40 plays of the winter season later in the show. But first, we take a look at all the hoopers in the area who finished their seasons with more than 1,000 career points on the hardwood. Now, it's tough to know if we got everyone that's in this category, but there are over 60 names on this list. And without further ado, here it is, the 1,000 plus point club from the SAC-JOAQUIN section. Time to take a look at our big picture baseball top 10 presented by Lenie's Pictures. Folks, Lenie's Pictures has you covered with great action shots, custom team and individual banners, and much more. Visit leniespictures.com and follow them on social media to find out all the games they cover throughout the week. Let's take a look at our big picture top 10 baseball rankings presented by Lenie's Pictures. Can't get enough high school sports in Sacramento? Well, Premier Preps has got you covered like no one else. You want game highlights? We got you. You want local insight? We got you. You want inspirational feature stories? We've got you. How about exclusive interviews with prominent players and coaches in the area? We got you. Scores, updates, top plays, and much, much more every Sunday at 5 o'clock during the high school season on YouTube. We look back at the week that was and keep you updated on who's got next. So follow along on social media and subscribe on YouTube to Premier Preps with me, Nick Pecoraro, because it's giving Sacramento high school sports the coverage it deserves. The Rylee Grace Foundation brings you our Premier Preps feature stories each week this spring. Rylee Grace Foundation provides support and resources for families experiencing the struggles that come with pediatric cancer. This week, we put the spotlight on the two-time Sacramento Bee Player of the Year, a section champion at McClatchy High School, and a future Washington Husky. Nina Cain joins us for an exclusive one-on-one. Let's check it out. Folks, let's just appreciate Nina Cain while we still have her in the 916. She's got big things in her future, but for right now, she's going to work in the paint and won. All right, it is with great pleasure that I introduce my next guest. She is a senior at McClatchy High School, which just won its first girls basketball section championship since 2007. And she was recently named the Sacramento Bees All-Metro Player of the Year for the second year in a row. She's just a few months away from playing collegiately at the next level at the University of Washington. My guest is none other than Nina Cain. Nina, thank you so much for joining us on Premier Preps.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, I mentioned the last time McClatchy won a section championship was in 2007. Were you quite born yet? That was about 18 years ago.
If we're estimating it was around the same time as we won it, that would have been just approximately, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks before I was born. My birthday is coming up on the 23rd, so it's kind of crazy how just, a whole 18 years later, we win it again with a new generation.
Isn't it wild?
It's cool in a way.
It's maybe a little prophetic, right? That they waited until you were just about to be a senior to win it all again. Well, happy early birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
You guys certainly made it a memorable season. You guys were very fun to watch and cover. Have you had a chance to kind of reflect and look back at what you guys did and what stands out to you about what you guys were able to accomplish?
I think, I think this honestly, out of my 4 years here, and I think I could say the same for a few of our other seniors, this was our biggest year. I mean, just we have so many things to reflect on, especially earlier in the year. Lots of things that we got done that we're very proud of. We had, I would say, arguably our toughest preseason yet in all 4 years that I've been here. And just the way we handled it and got some good wins and faced some really best of the best competition early on, head on, and just seeing how we performed even at that early stage when, we weren't at our fullest potential yet, says a lot. And so we just kept building and building and building and building. throughout the year and to where we got just a couple weeks ago. All credit to what we've done early on in this year.
Being named the SAC-B Player of the Year for the second year in a row, that doesn't happen very often. Like sometimes maybe you'll have a girl who gets the overall Player of the Year one year, and then maybe the large school Player of the Year or medium school Player of the Year the next year. But to be the overall Player of the Year for 2 years in a row, that's saying something right there. Does that what type of meaning does that carry for you?
It means a lot. I mean, I would just say I'm just so blessed with everything that, all the opportunities that God has given me, and just the support along the way, throughout my 4 years and just learning and growing alongside, my family and my team, my coaches, teammates, all that support, and also myself being the biggest part of it, just staying confident and just continuing to work at a consistent level, and also just holding myself up high at high standards.
Your high standards that you hold yourself to, that's one of the things that Coach Oda talks a lot about when he's describing your game, and just your drive and everything like that. Tell me about your upbringing with the game of basketball. Like what drew you to the game initially, and what do you attribute to developing that drive and developing into the player that you are today?
I would say biggest thing that got me into basketball is my dad. He's always been a big sports guy, and just the way he pushed me, allowed me to ingrain all those teachings and those characteristics that he put into me as a player and both as a person as well. And I would say thanks to him for pushing me so much, so much, so much that I developed my own, a high motor and just have that integrated into my system when I get in the court. I give a lot of props to him because getting me started really early, just getting my feet in the water at about 5 or 6 years old, that carried a long way.
And he definitely makes his presence felt at games, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Yep. He's my number one biggest fan. No one else can beat him.
At what point of your life did you realize and kind of figure out that hey, I'm pretty good and I possibly have a future at playing college basketball? What point of your life did you figure that out, and how did your mindset maybe change towards the game?
I started to really figure it out, I would say, when I started AAU around fourth grade, and when I began to do traveling AAU, I was constantly put on the higher team, so I was rarely with my own age group, or if I was, I would be with my own age group, or I would also play with the girls that are a year older or even 2 years older. So I think that really contributed a lot. It developed me in a way where I always wanted to seek something greater, something bigger, just knowing that, if I can compete with girls 2 years older than me, that have more experience, more development, if I can, hang at that level, then when I go back to my own level, then it's so much easier for me.
I imagine it's certainly going to help you when you move on to Washington. And speaking of the Huskies, why UW? What attracted you to Washington?
It was a mix of a lot of things, a lot of factors. I would say one of the biggest ones was just the coaches and teammates. When I went there after my visit, I came home and I told them my family, like, these people are like second family to me. I just felt the real connection with all the staff, all the team, the teammates, just like-minded people who are very good people, off the court, and also have that drive and want to work. So I love that because that matches a lot with my personality and my fire. And also, the school is amazing. Campus is amazing. Great academics. Very, very good, top-rated public university, and also great athletics too. It checked all my check boxes. So I would say, once I came home, I knew right away.
That's awesome that you have that environment and that culture that kind of matches with, and meshes with your personality both on and off the court. But speaking of off the court, like what is Nina Cain like off the court? We've seen what she can do on the court and pretty much dominate the competition. But what does Nina Cain like to do when she's not playing basketball?
Well, Nina Cain is really two different people. When she's on the court and when she's off the court. When she's on the court, that's when she's her loudest. She's has that fire. She's yelling, hype. But off the court, as a person, I'm a lot more kind of mellow, very nice, very generous. Just kind of more, just calm, just kind of that calm aura. I like to spend time with my family. I'm a family person. I like to have hobbies. I do art. I'm very into photography, and I am considering doing something of that field once I get to Washington. As I look more into it, I feel like I'll have something figured out, but I'm very interested in like cinema, media studies. So I like to dabble in those kind of things. I like to cook, like to read. But off the court, I'm a different person in a way. But still, nothing will ever change for my love of basketball. That is always with me.
You kind of answered my next question that I had for you. It was going to be, what did you want to study when you're at UW? But it sounds like you want to get into some sort of art or cinema. That would be awesome. How far do you see the game of basketball taking you?
I would dream to go to the WNBA. I feel like I have the potential to make it and the drive to make it. And that's what I keep on striving for. And so that's something I'll continue to work for. And just, throughout my collegiate level, I'm just going to keep rising my stock more and more and more and just keep being myself.
Well, Nina, I truly appreciate you taking the time to hang out on Premier Preps. Congratulations on all of your success, both team-wise and individually. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I cannot wait to see what you do at the next level. You've had an amazing career already, and you've got an amazing career ahead of you as well. So we wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us on Premier Preps. You are obviously welcome back anytime.
Of course, thank you. Thank you so much.
Erik's Deli Cafe brings you the team with character each week this spring. Whether it's for pickup or dine in, Erik's Deli Cafe has sandwiches with character, soups made from Erik's family recipes, freshly made salads, and much more. Make sure you order online from the Folsom and Roseville locations, and don't forget, Erik's has catering to feed all of your characters at your upcoming event as well. Make sure you follow along the Premier Preps Instagram page to get weekly promo deals as well. This week's team with character is the Davis baseball team. The Blue Devils have been one of the hottest teams in the section, winning 12 of their last 15, including the championship game of the Fresno Easter Classic tournament this past week. Senior Eli Burnham was named the tournament MVP, hitting .500 with a home run and 6 RBIs over the 3-day tournament. Congratulations, Davis. You are the Erik's Deli Cafe team with character.
304, complaining of dizziness, lightheadedness. We're going to send EMS on the way, but can you take a ride over there?
10-4 on my way. It's allowed our responders to get their hands on the next step of technologies that are facing EMS.
It saves you the time to ask the questions and really concentrate on treating the patient.
Time for our Big Picture Top 10 Softball Rankings presented by Lenie's Pictures. When you visit leniespictures.com, you can use the promo code NP7 at checkout and get $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. Take advantage of that special while you can. And now, let's check out our latest Big Picture Top 10 Softball Rankings presented by Lenie's Pictures. Lenie's Pictures is your go-to site for priceless photos and memorabilia. This local family business has captured great action shots for a decade, but there's so much more to offer with a personalized touch for team and individual photos, game day galleries, banners, yard signs, festive mementos for senior nights, team banquets, or even just to cheer your kid on at their games, all 100% custom made by Lenie's Pictures, any student, any season, any occasion. So make those memories last forever and visit leniespictures.com and use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. That's leniespictures.com, your official photography sponsor for Premier Preps. This is normally the portion of the show where we bring you our top plays of the week presented by Infinite Performance Physical Therapy. Well, this week, we've got a special treat for you as we bring you an entire season's worth of plays with the top 40 plays of the winter season. These student athletes showed out for the highlight reel on the basketball courts and the soccer fields. And here they are, the top 40 plays of the winter season presented by Infinite Performance Physical Therapy. It's always nice to have an ace up your sleeve. Ace Villegas with the buzzer beater in the NorCal opener versus 12 Bridges. Kamaria Charlo of Antelope gonna take it all the way, put the thing down, flip it and reverse it. Nice move from Miss Charlo. But this is where CB really takes the governor off. Olivia Novi with the fancy footwork, and CB leads 56-32 after 3. The quick touch outside to Anna Price. The perfectly placed cross finds Macy Kirby for the header. That was a thing of beauty, and Del Oro takes a 1-0 lead into the break. And then Kaya's going to play some defense down low now. Get that stuff out of here. Sincere Hudson says, don't mind if I do, all the way to the lane for the jam. Davis with some hustle on defense, Sonia Clayton with the steal, and just instinctively knows where to find Lorelei Knockman. A nice play from Clayton. Destiny Christian's Jep Tambala gets up for a big smash on one end of the court, but he wasn't finished. He hustles back on D and comes up with a big block. The Rams with a nice sequence to close the first. Mason Piercy with the block and the save. Jared Alexander fires ahead to Ace Villegas, who's got eyes in the back of his head. Benny Ambrose gets the finish. Joshua Morris fires, but goalie Luke Whalebrock comes up with a tremendous save. An incredible sequence from the sophomore keeper to help Franklin hold on to a 1-goal lead. Andre Gomez goes airborne to save it, and then Grant brings it up, and Damari Hunter goes all Ricky Bobby and Cal Naughton Jr. Shake and bake. The pull-up J, but give the hustle assist to Gomez on the other end. Chase Rollins had 17 of his team-high 26 in the fourth. Chase was on the case. Check out Ava Rollins. That's giving Magic Johnson vibes on that assist to Dixie McClanahan. Ariana Dorton working her way down the far side. She crosses it toward the far post where Ofelia Lopez is there with the perfect timing, perfect placement, and McClatchy takes a 2-1 lead into the break. The first one from the far side, Giancarlo Garcia goes for the header, but Alejandro Flores is there with a beautiful leaping save. Back the other way, Hawks looking to punch one in just minutes later. Ivan Gonzalez is denied by Adam Preciado. Cristobal Flores' attempt is shut down by Preciado. The sophomore had the seatbelt on Monday night. And check out this ball handling wizardry from Brandon Williams. If you listen closely, you can hear the Harlem Globetrotters theme playing in the background. Jaden High was just straight hooping in the second quarter, and I'm not sure what his issue is with the rim, but he had that thing all out of sorts. Grant on the inbound, Del Oro steals it, they gotta get a 3 off, but Washington denies it. The clock strikes 0, and the Pacers move on to the section semis. DCA had taken the governor off this game before it even got started. Fred Blue. He's been known to give the color red the blues. Right around the 6-minute mark, Marco Gutierrez with another good feed, and Christian Del Toro with another good deed. Del Toro hitting the bullseye. That's just ice cold right there. Check out this sequence from the Lions. Noree Lewis with the block to start the fast break. Brianna Kimmons dishes to Daisy Throckmorton, the hoop and the harm, and the Legion student section is fired up in Golden 1. Bringing the ball up, this is a textbook UTEP two-step. The pull-up three, and by the look on her face, even she knew that was nasty. But it's swatted away by a diving Nick Cunningham, a tremendous save for Jesuit, and it remains 0-0. But the third quarter belonged to this dude, Lincoln point guard Denez Lindsay. He buries a three with under a minute to play, but hold up, wait a minute, Mr. Lindsay isn't finished. In the same sequence, he comes up with a steal, takes it back the other way for another three, and that absolutely blew the roof off of the building. But on the response, here come the Lions. Talk about a tough finish. Mohamed Kamara yams it home, much to the home crowd's delight. I don't know what I like better, the feed from Rodrigo Rodriguez or the boot from Giovanni Guillen. Either way, an outstanding connection right there to put the Vikings back in front. He turns and burns, but Vista keeper Sam Ingles gets a fingertip on it, and it goes off of the crossbar. Where's all the cool kids at? Haley Smith of Liberty Ranch comes out of nowhere with the chase down block against Union Mine. She pins it off the glass, nearly runs into your boy. But West Campus has a dude named Zach Villanueva who recently eclipsed the 1,000 point mark for his career, a steal and a bucket for the Warriors. And how many different ways can Mano Jenkins score the basketball? Well, at least one more seems to always be the correct answer. 23 for Mano. With about 4 minutes left in the game, Grizz Martinez is online and Shea Romero is on time in a perfectly executed header. Whitney with a free kick in stoppage time, and Luca Bainotti's going to give it a whirl. He doesn't accept Venmo or PayPal, just straight cash. Bang Bang Bainotti provides the dagger with a tremendous goal. Sheldon works it down low for big man Nate Ruff, 6'8", 230 with a big drop step jam. And then check out this finish from Joy Talilafiti. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Rio Linda is pulling out all the stops in the fourth. Oak Ridge goalkeeper Cielo Alonso Yohola has Davis coming in hot, but the freshman lays out for the denial, the cat-like reflexes. More Marola in the fourth. Jagger, release the Kraken! That one gets everybody fired up. And then check out this sequence. Brune on the inbound. He goes off his defender's back. He gets the ball back and then buries the 3 and 1. He would go ahead and convert the 4-point play. This kid is special. And don't go anywhere, folks, because Taylon Goodman steals it and gets the lob from Hudson. The Tigers are just playing around right now. Connor DeLobby comes up with a steal, and he lobs it for Eli Willis. Eli's only bucket of the night puts Rockland in front by 1. Rockland with one of the most insane finishes to a championship game.
What's up, Infinite family? We have something new for you guys for 2025. We finally teamed up with My PT Hub and created the ultimate all-inclusive Infinite app. Within the app, you'll be able to purchase memberships, book and cancel sessions, and purchase online go-at-your-own-pace programs. Something new we're adding this year is becoming an Infinite virtual athlete, where you have custom programs built for you with video demonstrations to ensure you are doing the exercises properly. I'm super excited for this new addition and being able to create Infinite built athletes no matter where you are in the world.
Time to check in on our latest boys volleyball top 10 rankings for the SAC-JOAQUIN section. That's it for episode 35 of Premier Preps. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you've had an amazing spring break. We'll get back to our regular format next week with plenty of game highlights as the league races for baseball, softball, and boys volleyball start to heat up as we approach the postseason. Big thanks to our sponsors, Infinite Performance Physical Therapy, Lenie's Pictures, Premier Championship Rings, iPCR, Erik's DeliCafe, HB Towing, and the Rylee Grace Foundation. And of course, a huge thanks to you for subscribing and following along on social media and hanging out on Premier Preps every Sunday. I'm Nick Pecoraro. We will see you next week.